we've been talking about guys that, let's just say they're on teams that aren't doing much, stuck in the mud, or just suck, and they're good players, and we want to see them on contenders because, they're older guys. Pascal Siakam is number one on my list, guys. I think that he can't be your number one on a title team, but man, he'd be a really good number two. Where have I seen that before?
Right. He'd be really good. But like, let's just. I don't know if I've said it here. I know I've said it somewhere else before, if not here. We just have to start the campaign of free the Bogdanoviches. I don't know. What's the plural Bogdanovich?
Bogdanovich. Yeah.
Look, both of them, Bojan and Bogdan. Let's start with Bojan, like with Detroit. Like, this is, should have traded him last year. They were trying to get 2 firsts for him last year. I thought that was a ridiculous price. Again, going back to teams being absolutely ridiculous with their value and assessment in those things. But I think he can help a lot of teams. I don't know if the Lakers can find a way to get him, but with how bad their offense is, I think he takes them a pretty take up. I think, and then when you look at Bogdan Bogdanović, I love him, man. He's just fun to watch. He has games where he goes completely off. I just want to see him on a team where he can really cook. I wish the trade or the sign and trade or whatever it was, and he ended up in Milwaukee before he ended up in Atlanta. Okay. I wish that happened because it would have been probably so much fun to have him there. And I think he would have kind of given them a little bit more of a boost in their offense with all of that. But just free the Bogdanović.
The funny thing about those 3 guys, I mean, I think Siakam is clearly a better player than the other 2 guys, right? Yes. And Bojan, later in his career. So that's a different sort of acquisition. Bogdan, obviously younger. But all 3 of those guys should help a winning team. I see that Warriors fans have been kicking around Siakam as some sort of a solution to their problems. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he joins RJ Barrett. They send Wiggins to Canada. Is that kind of the story that we're working with there? I don't think Siakam does enough for the Warriors there to solve some of their bigger concerns. But it feels like some team could get Siakam and go from, let's say, 6 to 8 seed range to top 4, like Final 4 in the West or the East. I mean, he's that kind of player. Is there any team that you guys would like to see him on?
He strikes me as I think you differentiate largely because of sort of the off-ball shooting ability that both Bogdanović have. Is there a little easier in terms of just plug and play, add them to what you're doing? Whereas I think Siakam probably, because of his ability, his ball in hands ability, probably requires more of a morphing of what you have. And there would be situations like, say that you dropped him on the Knicks, and then that almost gets them back in the problem they had before. Like, he's better than RJ Barrett, obviously, but it's still the problem of you got 3 guys on the floor, all who want to ISO every possession, and there's not really any synergy that they had before. So I think
Julius Randle's not going to sit there and watch Pascal Siakam post-ups like OG Anunoby just did in Toronto. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I would love for that to happen, to just OG walk in the locker room going like, "I just got away from you, man."